Yeah, it's TDPHINSTALK. We done came so far. Gotta keep going. Hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out DDW. He's great and that's my peer review. These haters keep on hating and it's starting to feel like deja vu. Insanity and Chef Jew. I can't forget my day one crew. EM Reason Ball Game. The recognition's overdue. I share with you my point of view and this is what it's got us to success. My haters say I'm a mess. They say that I'm a pest and I depress. And I'm obsessed with causing stress, but yet the stress they can't suppress. Nonetheless, I just impress because I'm blessed and they oppress. I know the answers, they just guess. When they play checkers, I play chess. When they regress, I make progress. And my attention, they get less. They feel neglected, CPS. If they don't pay, I repossess. Now I digress and decompress and take recess and clear my chest. I must confess, I am the best. Like, hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out DDW. He's great and that's my peer review. These haters keep on hating and it's starting to feel like deja vu. Insanity and Chef Jew. I can't forget my day one crew. EM Reason Ball Game. The recognition's overdue. I share with you my point of view and this is what it's got us to success. On the road to the Super Bowl, no matter the cost, man, we willing to pay the toll. 50 plus years and they all ended in tears. Now it's time to pop bottles, celebrate, scream cheers. Hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out to my day one crew. We only here because of you. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. How is everyone doing today? I hope you guys are doing just fine. Y'all already know what time it is. We are going to go over the first depth chart of the Miami Dolphins, and then we are going to talk about what the Dolphins need to what moves they need to make before the season starts, at least early moves. All right. This is gonna be interesting. I've already seen the depth chart. Yeah, I've already seen the depth chart, and it's very interesting. But I know what they're doing, and I see what they're doing. We're gonna talk about that and more here on TDPHINSTALK. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. But subscribe. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The last week and a half, we done added about 400, 300 or something people to the channel. So welcome to the channel. Everybody who's new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, remember, you're not gonna always agree with me, but we're family and we're a community over here. We respect one another's opinions. So again, thank you all so much. TD, thank you for your text. Oh, shout out to you, man. Cat lover. Dolphins need a miracle. We don't need a miracle. It ain't that bad. We ain't in a bad place. But we need to do some things to make sure that we give ourselves the right opportunity to do something special this year. All right. Again, subscribe to the channel now. Hit that like button. I want to give y'all an update on how many subscribers we're at right now. Real quick before I get started. 20,700 and 20,736 subs. All right. Also, the last video earlier today, make sure you go check that out. We are trading. We're looking to trade two players, Preston Williams and Lynn Bowden. I reported on that earlier as well. But let me bring up this depth chart. We'll dive right in. Y'all give me a second. Let me fix this real quick. I'm getting a little bit of a lag. Y'all give me one moment, all right? Yeah, bear with me one moment. What's up, Desert? Give me one moment. Oh boy, why is it taking so long for my depth chart to come up? Let me go on Twitter and pull it back up. You see, I'm a mess. All right, let me pull it up on give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up on Twitter and share my screen so y'all can see it. All right, this is a good view. All right, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Let me share my screen and then we'll talk about it. Hopefully it shows up big enough. If not, I'll make some adjustments. All right, share screen. All right, this will be good. Let me blow it up. And why I look like that? That's weird. Yeah, y'all barely can see that. Hold on. I'm gonna do it another way. I got a better way. Y'all bear with me. All right. What's up, Caesar? DS? TD, check DM. I got you, bro. I'm going to check it now. I know you probably sent me the depth chart, but I'm trying to get it to show up big enough on the screen. So give me a moment. I'll go into my DMs on IG. Oh, it's about the Pats. Oh my gosh. See, I can't even go on my IG. I'm gonna have to go in later. TD, great job putting eyes on the players. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. Let's see here. All right. Y'all gonna bear with me one moment. Hit that like button while we waiting, man. I'm gonna have it up in just a moment. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna make it an official picture so it'll show up big. All right, and then let me just send it to myself. All right, let me airdrop it to my computer, MacBook Pro. Accept. Save the downloads. Let me close Twitter out. Don't need it. All right. That's better. All right. A little bit better. Still a little fuzzy. All right. Let me do this. All right. Y'all can hear me anyway. So we're going to go that way. I don't know how well y'all can see it or not. Probably not very well at all. This is Tua's last chance. He better get us to the playoffs better than wild card. If he doesn't, we better trade him. This is best Miami has been in years. I agree with that. I think a lot of people agree with that. At the end of the day, he got to do it this year. This is the last chance. All right. Clear as day. Somebody said clear as day. All right. Well, I'll take it. I will take it. If you can see it clear as day, that's a good thing. All right. Anywho, all right, man. So let's talk about this. So first and foremost, man, I want to start out at the quarterback position on this depth chart. There's no surprises here. Tua's number one, Teddy's number two, Skyler number three. Really nothing to write home for. It's interesting that they got two running back slots though. So the two running back slots, they got Edmonds and Mostert as the head of the room. Then you got Sony Michel and Gaskins. So right now they're basically saying that Dokes, Ahmed, and White are on the outside looking in if they carry four backs. All right. And if they carry three backs, Gaskins might be on the outside looking in. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think that's what it's going to end up being. Edmonds, Mostert, Sony Michel, and Gaskins, all four of those guys make the roster. I think that's what they're going to end up doing. What they're going to do is they may move on from, they may protect Dokes on the practice squad again. Ahmed, unfortunately, they may actually move on from him. And Zaquandre White, they're going to try to put on the practice squad as well. That's what I think is going to end up happening before the end of the season, unless some changes are made. But I think Gaskins being in that fourth spot right now means that he's also tradable. So we'll keep our eyes on that situation. I think that they're basically showing you that he is tradable. Now, at the wide receiver position, Waddle and Tyreek are wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. But here's what's interesting. Wide receiver 3 right now is Cedric Wilson Jr. and wide receiver 4, Preston Williams, backing him up. Let me tell y'all something. The Dolphins think they slick. They think they slick. They're going to sit Preston Williams as basically making this team in a top 4 receiver on this team. They only placed him on a depth chart there to see if they can get his value up. All teams release the depth chart, and at the end of the day, that is a move to make it seem like he's better than all those other guys. He's our 3rd or 4th best receiver, which helps his trade value. The more you look like you value him, the more you can get for him if you do trade for him. That's all that is, because Preston Williams is not our number 3 right now, yet alone our number 4. He ain't even our number 5 and ain't even our number 6. This man is getting number 7, number 8 type reps in camp. Your real depth chart, in my opinion, is Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Sanu, and Ezukama. And you got Craycraft and Sanders. One of those guys will make the roster as well. But Lynn Bowden and Preston Williams, no, they're going to have to miss me with that. All right? They're going to have to miss me with that. So Ezukama, this is the interesting one. He's way at the back of the depth chart, and I'm telling you, that ain't what's happening in camp. But what that means is they might want him on the roster, but just in case he doesn't make the final cut, they want to give the appearance to everybody that he's nobody. So they got him sitting up here in literally one of the last spots in the wide receiver group, Ezukama. That's just a move basically saying to other teams, he's one of the last guys out of all of these guys. So only if they decide to put him on the practice squad, and hopefully no one poaches him away. That's what that's about. Otherwise, I don't see how, in my opinion, certain guys are in front of him. It doesn't make sense to me based off of what I've seen at camp. Okay? Now, as far as left tackle, we know about Teron Armstead. Larnell Coleman is the backup, and that's not good at the backup position. But Armstead is going to hold it down. Eichenberg right now is at left guard with Pankey as the backup. You got Connor Williams at center with Dieter as the backup. You got Robert Hunt at right guard with Jones as the backup. And you got Austin Jackson at right tackle with Greg Little at the as the backup. Now, when you dive into this O-line, first of all, Jackson He's going to have to play well this year, but if anything happens to him, we go down to Greg Little, and in my opinion, it's a drop-off. Anything happen to Robert Hunt, going to Jones, drop-off. Anything happens to Connor Williams or Dieter, I think that's a struggle position anyway, regardless. Luckily, Eichenberg, anything happen to him, Connor Williams can slide over to that position and Dieter can play center. Armstead, anything happen to him, we got Coleman. The thing I don't like about this O-line is that the only position that I feel like is protected right now is the left guard position, because if Eichenberg goes down, you still got Connor Williams who can play that role. All the other positions, it's a major drop-off with depth. And this is why I prefer, watch this, y'all. This is why going to get a starting center is so important. Because if you go get a starting center, then your backup at center is Connor Williams and Dieter. So you got center help. Then Connor Williams goes to left guard, and your backup is Eichenberg. You got a backup. And if Armstead goes out, at least you can move Eichenberg maybe over to left tackle. You have at least some type of backup who's played that position. And if Robert Hunt goes out, you still got Dieter who can play guard as well. And if Austin Jackson goes out, you still got Eichenberg who could play that position as well. I think it's important for Eichenberg to be the flex backup. Go get a starting center, use Connor Williams at left guard, and Eichenberg can back up almost every position on the line except the center and the right guard. Just go get a center, and you got Eichenberg who can come in as relief for so many different positions: left tackle, left guard, and a right tackle. We'll see how that plays out. I think this week they're going to get their final assessment on whether or not it's an emergency to go get an offensive lineman. And we'll see what we get out of that. We'll see what they end up doing. Excuse me. Fullback, Ingo, love it. We already know what time it is there. Ingo definitely making his team. Tight end position, Gesicki, Smythe, Hunter Long, Ethan Carter, Adam Shaheen, Connor. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all, Shaheen, unfortunately, might be on his way out the door. Ethan Carter could be on his way out the door. And they may end up going with Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe, and Hunter Long. Hunter Long might get his first little bit of playing action on this team as far as making the 53, because it looks like he's jumped past Shaheen and Ethan Carter. So that's interesting early on. Keep our eyes on that situation, but you also got a situation where Gesicki could still get traded. I don't think it's going to happen at this point, but you never can rule it out. Y'all punch that like button for me. Thank you for your love and support. Let's go on over to the defensive side of the ball. Some interesting pieces here. See, let's go down in the trenches first. Nose tackle Raekwon Davis. We already know what time it is. We got a great backup in Jenkins, and Benito Jones even backs them up. Will he make the team? I don't know, but we'll see. But the 1 and 2 at the nose tackle, I like it. Now, the defensive end, being Christian Wilkins on the outside of him, on the left side is on the right side is backed up by Zeiler. Ain't no better than that, ladies and gentlemen. You got the number 3 and the number 5 at that position, and the number 5 is the backup. It's just crazy. Okay. Then on the opposite side, you got Ogba and Gustin. But what I don't like is the backup being Gustin, because Ogba's there. But if something were to happen to Ogba, all they do is put Zeiler out there for those reps. So Zach Zeiler, however you pronounce it, he gets reps anyway, because he relieves Christian Wilkins and Ogba rotating with those guys. It's almost like a three-man wheel going on, even though they get the primary reps. Now, on the outside at the linebacker, that flex position, you got Jalen Phillips with Brendan Scarlett as the backup. And on the other side of that, look who's on the first team, ladies and gentlemen. And I told y'all he was going to come in as a starter, and y'all said, oh, he's just depth. No, this man has been beasting in camp. He's been better than Ogba and Phillips in camp. That's just real talk. You ain't got to like what I'm saying, but that's a fact. This man has been better than Ogba and Jalen Phillips in camp, and that's Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram has been beasting in camp, and he done earned himself number 1 on the depth chart on the outside opposite of Jalen Phillips. And he's backed up by Van Ginkel, who was expecting to finally get that starting role this year. But no, sir. Melvin Ingram, I told y'all he was going to come start, and y'all said, no, Van Ginkel going to have it. He just a good backup. No, sir. And let me tell you what I'm impressed about with Melvin Ingram. He ain't just about the pass rush. He got good speed, and he's actually running loose in that secondary trying to guard people in pursuit on the run around the edge. He gonna make plays this year. He's about to be rejuvenated. I mean, he's out there flying, y'all. Y'all will see what I'm talking about. But it's a good look to have Van Ginkel as the backup. Okay? Now, on that interior, you know you got Baker and Elandon Roberts, but you also got Sammy Guavin and Duke Riley. But they got Channing Tindall as the third string and Munson as well. Now, Tindall has showed athleticism in camp, but he ain't making a ton of plays off rip, y'all. I'm just keeping it real. He's our first pick this year, and we love him. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to grow into his role. Look for them to try to get him to be elevated next year to replace guys like Duke Riley or Sammy Guavin. But he should make the 53. He should make the 53. Okay? But we'll see. All right? Now, cornerbacks, you already know Howard is the starter. They don't even have Byron Jones on here because they're not supposed to when you're on the pup. So it looks like the starting corner opposite of Howard is Nick Needham, which makes sense. He's your number 1 out on the boundary right now. According to what I see on the field, now this is real talk here, y'all. Grossman and Igbenogany has been your second string guys. They've been getting most of the work, even more than Trill Williams, and I feel like Trill Williams has played better than all of them. But here's the deal with Trill. Trill had a first week of camp when everybody wasn't there, all the fans. He was balling out. But Trill was pretty quiet last week, y'all. Trill was pretty quiet last week. You notice that? Not much said about Trill last week. Nobody talked about it. Remember that first week, Trill Williams was balling. He was everywhere. Picks, all kind of stuff. Pass breakups. Last week, he wasn't mentioned much at all. Remember that player who tweaked their leg after getting burnt for the touchdown? Not even really burnt. I thought it was great coverage, just better offense. Teardrop from Tua to Waddle. Got him. That was Trill, though, that tweaked his leg or whatever. But this is what's interesting about it, because when Byron comes back, Needham is going to go into that next level. But who's going in after that? Right now, they got Crossman Crossman would be the number 4, and Igbenogany would be number 5. But will they carry 6 corners and add Trill? I don't know. I got to go look at last year's depth chart to see how many they even carry to begin with. So that's going to be an interesting thing to keep our eyes on. How that ends up happening at the end of the season. So you got guys in that cornerback room, you're not going to be able to keep all of them. But I'm going to be honest, Grossman at number 27, him being the number 4 guy on this team right now is interesting to me because, I mean, he getting toasted all day. So, but if there is 6 DBs that we end up keeping, then he's going to have a home, Trill's going to have a home, and Noah's going to have a home. So all of them will make the team. Coho, Ross, Ellis, and Hamilton would be the oddballs out. But we'll see how it goes. Safety, there's no surprise. Brandon Jones and Javon Holland. I love it because this year they put Brandon Jones as the starter, and he's been playing as a starter, and they put Eric Rowe as the backup, and Red Wine as Holland's backup. I got to be honest with y'all. Nobody's talking about that either. Eric Rowe are they thinking about possibly trading him as well? Because Brandon Jones is now coming into form. And you got guys that have been cross-training like Nick Needham and Trill Williams also playing some safety. Because they'll save $4.5 million by cutting Eric Rowe. We already up to $21 million. They cut Eric Rowe. We had about 25, almost 26. These are things you got to think about. That'll be $26 million left that we have. And we're negative $31 million next year. So I know Greer's trying to move over as much money as possible. I want to see Eric Rowe on his team. I want him to make this team. But they've officially said, Brandon Jones, it's time for you to get that spot. Last year, it was Eric Rowe and Brandon Jones backing him up, rightfully so. But this year, they've gone ahead and given the young guys the keys to the car and put Eric Rowe behind him. So this will be interesting to see how that plays out at the end of the day. Okay. So that's your defense. Kicker, Jason Sanders. No shockers there. Punter, Morstead. As of right now, they've been working out different punters, so we'll see who we get by the end of the season. Long snapper, Ferguson. Kick return. Now, this is interesting. They got Mostert as the primary kick returner. I like it because he has speed, and it takes Waddle away from the primary duties, but they also have Waddle as the number 2 guy, and Chase Edmonds is number 3. So they're putting all their speed in that area. Igbenogany is number 4. Now, that doesn't bode well for Igbenogany because Igbenogany, that was one of his little niches playing the special teams in the past. But now he's 4th on the depth chart in the kick return, and that could be detrimental to his special teams value going down. If he ain't playing good cornerback play, he could end up not even making the roster. Before, it was a good thing that he was like number 2 on the depth chart or number 3 as a returner. Now he's number 4, and Dedmon's number 5. But punt return, you got Tyreek Hill, number 1, Waddle, number 2, Javon Holland for his hands, number 3, Preston Williams, number 4, and Dedmon, number 5, and Bowden Jr., number 6. Preston and Bowden, those are just add-ons because those guys, listen, that's just preseason. When the starters ain't playing, Hill, Waddle, and Holland, they just put that on the depth chart so you know Preston, Dedmon, and Bowden will be returning kicks. Same thing in kick return. In preseason, when Mostert, Waddle, and Chase Edmonds not playing anymore, Igbenogany and Dedmon will be returning kicks. But in the regular season, those guys probably won't even be on the team. So that is your first week 1 preseason depth chart that they have to release every week. And the injury report that should come out tomorrow or Wednesday, they have to release every week. So we'll keep our eyes on those things. Because last week we didn't know that Tyreek Hill actually was a little banged up on Wednesday. That's why he didn't practice. We just thought it was a veteran rest, but then it came out later, a little knick-knack, little injury that he's fine, just got a little banged up and then came back Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Outside of that, I mean, there's no surprises on this depth chart. Now, what does this mean, y'all? What does the Miami Dolphins need to do? Okay, let's talk about that real quick. The center position, again, they're going to continue to work with Connor Williams and see if they can get him at the position to continue to develop and be our guy, right? I just don't feel like that's the biggest bang for our buck. I feel like, honestly, the biggest bang for our buck with this team would literally be to just bring in a starting center, move Connor where he belongs at guard. So what that does, that leaves your first unit solid. It gives you starters 1 through 4, with the exception of Austin Jackson. And if he plays well this year, 5. We got our 5 starters. But what it will also do is give us the much needed depth that we don't have right now. Being able to kick Eichenberg to the backup role and Dieter to the backup role is perfect, because Eichenberg can play 3 positions on that line, both tackle positions and left guard, and Dieter can play every interior role, center and guard and guard. You got a solid backup, not great, but a solid backup for the whole line at that point. And that's what I want them to do. I think that that's what they need to do. One move can make all of that happen. Just going to get a center, a starting center, and now you have quality depth now. It ain't the greatest depth in the world, but Eichenberg, he ain't the best tackle in the world, but he can play the position, and I ain't tripping about him being the backup. Because Eichenberg, in my opinion, is looking better in camp. But how good would that be if he was the backup for both tackles and the guard position? And Dieter, I thought he was solid enough to start anyway. So how good would it be for him to be the backup center and both guards back up? And then you carry one or two more guys. They need to make that move, y'all. They also, I'm all in favor for trading these receivers, because that receiver room is loaded, y'all. The receiver room is actually loaded. What we don't talk about, let me tell you a few receivers who actually have made some really good plays. Where is he at? Sherfield, Sanu, Ezukama, Craycraft, and Sanders hit and miss for me. That's the crazy part. All of those guys do be making plays, but all them guys going to be fighting for a position. Let me tell you why. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Cedric Wilson, those guys got their job. And it's also a matter of how many receivers are we going to keep. How many did we keep last year? Do y'all remember? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the comment section. How many did we keep last year? Trying to remember, was it 5 or 6? Somebody says 6. Okay. So if there's 6, right? Say we do keep 6. This is the interesting part. You got Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Cedric Wilson, right? That's 3. You got 3 more spots, and let's assume Lynn Bowden and Preston is gone, right? But look who's all fighting for those 3 spots. Sherfield, Sanu, Craycraft, Sanders, Ezukama, and Dedman. You got 6 guys fighting for 3 spots. It's still deep, and I ain't even including Preston and Lynn Bowden. I'm not even including them. And let me tell you, Sanu gonna make this roster, in my opinion, okay? So that's 4. So I really think you got 2 openings for 5 guys. Sherfield has played really well. He got a big frame on him. I think they really like that. It's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. It's going to be interesting. So that wide receiver room, we're going to have to watch that all camp. With the cap space we have, we can easily sign a cap casualty backup tackle, center as well. Exactly why the team isn't overly concerned right now. We can even create more cap. TD tripping. I don't even get why you say I'm tripping. I actually agree with you. I'm just saying what we need to do. But again, you're talking about a backup tackle center as well. Why we need a backup center when we ain't got a starting center? I don't care who they list on the depth chart. But if you want to win this year, recognize we ain't got a starting center. Too many high snaps, too many snap fumbles. Center's still getting blown up. So why am I tripping? And also, with the cap space we have, then why we ain't doing it? And to say that we're not overly concerned right now, what we got to get stuck with a guy like Greg Mance again, low-level players. We need to go get a legitimate guy. Not no cap casualty backup. We need a real guy. Just my take. Y'all talking backups. I'm talking about a real guy. A starter. A legit center. Okay. Tomorrow night also we'll have a collaboration on this channel. Want y'all to come through for me tomorrow around 7 or 7:30. I'll let y'all know early in the day. We got a collaboration. A Tampa Bay Buccaneers YouTuber. He's gonna come on the show. We're gonna talk. I want to know what the strengths of their team is. I want to know what the weaknesses are, so that we can actually know how we can really judge our team. So I have a Tampa Bay Buccaneers YouTuber coming on tomorrow night. So y'all come through for that. All right. Outside of that, man, the Dolphins, I don't know if we're more concerned about the future or the present, honestly. What we don't talk about as fans is the fact that it's Chris Greer's job as the general manager to make sure that the books are in order for the future as well. And that's what makes me nervous, and the reason why I don't feel like they're really trying to go get a starting caliber guy. They're just trying to go poach rosters and see if they can find somebody, you know. Our cap space is negative 31 million next year. I know a lot of people, and that's not with Gesicki under contract either. Okay. So don't say, so I don't want people to think, well, Gesicki's gonna come off the books. That ain't even including him next year. We're negative 31 million, and we got to give Christian Wilkins a new contract if we decide to keep him. And I know a lot of people, it's a salary cap negative 31. We can just restructure some stuff and make that go away like that. If you really understand our books, there ain't much restructure room at all. We have too many young players. There ain't as much restructure room as people think. The only room we have to save some money next year is to come off of Byron Jones's contract. But then, did we find a corner just as good as him to play that position? You know, are we really okay with moving on from Byron Jones next year? I know we've been saying that just easily, casually, just throwing that out there like it's going to happen. But are we prepared as a team to move on from Byron Jones next year? And the reason why I say that is because Coleman and Noah out there getting toasted. X doing his thing. And he get beat sometimes because nobody perfect, but Coleman and Noah out there getting toasted every practice. Every practice. Nick got it. Will they put Nick on the boundary for good? I don't know. And maybe Nick is the replacement. Trill looks good. Trill looked good in the first week. Trill, I ain't heard, he ain't did too much that caught my attention while I was down there in the second week. So we shall see. We shall see. But we got to figure out who's going to take that role, because that's going to save us a lot of money. And that's going to put us around negative 18, because he's going to have like $2 million dead cap or something like that next year. So we'll have like negative 18. And then when you look through the rest of the roster, who in the heck are we going to give up? Who are we going to, who gets restructured? What, you going to restructure Tyreek already? He already got it backloaded. So how you going to do that? Well, in the middle loaded. Who is there to restructure? There ain't many people on this team to restructure. Then you got to start worrying about next year Tua's deal if he works out. Carla said Gesicki. Gesicki ain't even under contract next year, so he doesn't even count in the negative 31. If he does become under contract, we're going to be a much bigger negative. We got to pay Christian Wilkins, an even bigger negative. Think about it. And if Austin Jackson work out at right tackle, we got to pick up his fifth-year option, potentially, and start looking at his money. Same thing with Noah, but I don't think we're going to get to that point. But we'll see. I don't know. But we don't talk about these things. This was the thing about draft picks. And now we're about to come into an era where that stuff matters. I told y'all this 3 years ago. We could keep it. We can go get all the firsts we want. But don't forget, our quarterback has to hit in the first 3 years, because if he don't, it's over. Everybody that we drafted now need new deals. This is the issue we run into. And this ain't a case of, the cap is going up. Yeah, but we got too many young players that's going to have their money due. Everybody want to say, the salary cap ain't real. They'll manipulate it. And then when Christian Wilkins get traded, they wondering why. These things are real. And we're coming up on that time. Now, next year, next summer, we're going to have plenty salary cap conversations, because it's going to be a lot of different things that's going to have to happen. Scott Paulus with the donation said, I'm curious. If people want to replace Tua next year, who with? Poised for the Super Bowl now. You expect a rookie to be better than Tua? Maybe is 2 years. How much will we have to sacrifice for top QB? Well, Scott, that just depends on how well Tua plays, okay? So let's go with if Tua plays great. None of this matters because he's our guy. But I think your question is more assuming if he doesn't play great and you want to replace him next year, with who? You replace him with a draft pick. You know why? Because if he doesn't play well this year, when are we going to ever create a team around him that much better than this? So if he doesn't play well this year, what, you want to go through a perpetual state of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result? You go get a rookie that you hope can be better. And I know you said you expect a rookie to be better than Tua. We might draft a Justin Herbert. We might draft a Joe Burrow. We might draft a Patrick Mahomes. We might draft a Deshaun Watson. We might draft even a Russell Wilson. We might draft, we don't know. But yeah, that's what you're going back in the draft for, hoping you find somebody better than him. Even in year one. You don't know, and they may not, but they might do. But you got to start this process over, because if he ain't good enough to carry this team to success, then when will he be? You can't make this team that much better than it is now. Think about it. You missed the playoffs this year. What's the plan next offseason? What some of us don't want to be honest about is the fact that next year's roster may be a little bit less. It's going to be not as good as this one. Even with Byron going and one of the guys stepping up is already a drop. It may not be significant, but next year's roster may not even be this good. We got to spend the money, whatever money we can come up with, just to keep guys. We'll be with Gesicki or without Gesicki. Either way, the team won't be better. It'll be the same at best. We either keep Christian Wilkins or trade him. Either way, the team will be the same at best. But it doesn't get much better than this. And you said, how much will we have to sacrifice for a top QB? That depends on the situation. That depends on the situation. Because say Brady did want to come here. We ain't got to trade for him here, free agent next year. Then you definitely go draft a quarterback that gets to sit behind him for a year or two. That's the easiest route. If we did bring in a Brady and you go draft one of these quarterbacks to sit behind the greatest of all time, that's the easiest and best solution if Tua ain't the guy. Other than that, then you ain't got no veteran unless you want to just bring in a guy like Jimmy G or something like that if you feel he could do better. But other than that, you ain't got a veteran. So what do? You just got to go in the draft and start. I mean, look at San Francisco, went to a Super Bowl and went to a championship round and went and got a new quarterback, and he's about to inherit that team. They ain't lose that much. Their young quarterback is going to inherit the team because they ended up saying to themselves, Jimmy G is what he is. He ain't bad. He's actually a good quarterback. But at the end of the day, we got to do better if we're going to do better. So we got to move on from him. Think about it. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but Tua can play good football this year and still they go get a rookie next year. Because good ain't good enough. I'm telling you, Tua's going to have to be great. That's what y'all got to realize. He's going to have to be great to keep his job. Ain't no Tua played good, it was better than last year. No, ain't none of that going to ride. He has to be great. It's a tough reality. It is not going to be good enough that he improved. Let's get that straight. Him improving will not be good enough. He has to be great. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you have Jimmy G right in your face to show you why. And even the bigger part to that is, where did Jimmy G come from? Who worked right with Jimmy G? You don't think Mike McDaniel knows better than anybody that Tua has to be a better quarterback this year than Jimmy G? You don't think Mike McDaniel knows you got more weapons than Jimmy G ever had? You got to be better than a Jimmy G level this year, or you ain't the guy. And Dolphin fans, be honest. Y'all should feel that way too. If he ain't better than Jimmy G with a better offense than what Jimmy G had, then he ain't the guy. Do y'all know Jimmy G was the 7th best quarterback the year they went to the Super Bowl? Most people don't know that. When you go look at the stats, he was the 7th ranked quarterback the year they went to the Super Bowl. 7th. And his limitations still getting him probably traded, if not cut. He got to be great. That's why all it is, he just got to be 15th, 12th. Tua got to be top 10 at a minimum. He got to compete with the big boys. He got to be right up there with the big boys. He has to be right up there with the big boys. And I'm just, if you look at precedent in the NFL, it's just the reality. You got to be up there with the big boys. Have to. Look at Tannehill, y'all. Do you know Tannehill was the 3rd ranked quarterback the year that he took over in Tennessee? The 3rd ranked quarterback. The year after that, he was the 11th ranked quarterback. Last year, he was like 12th, if I'm not mistaken. He had a rough patch, but then nobody talked about them 5 wins in a row that he played very efficient and good. And they still drafted a quarterback. Because if you got limitations, you got limitations, and they try to mask them as best as they can. But at some point, the limitations come bite you in the biggest stage when you feel you got the team that can do it. And what do? They go draft another young guy and hope that they can get better out of him within 2 years than you. And we're not going to sit here and say Tua doesn't have any limitations. And we're talking about a whole bunch of quarterbacks who aren't mobile. Tannehill is mobile, but he ain't Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes mobile. He ain't all of those guys mobile. Aaron Rodgers. He ain't they kind of mobile. Because the only way you succeed in this league is if you add the mobility with it. Jimmy G ain't mobile like that. Limitations. Somebody say I missed the super chat. No reason to re-sign Gesicki, in my opinion. I'm not opposed to that. I actually agree with you. I'm in agreement there. Unless he balls out and it works in this system, like shocking us. Jason 7117 said, TD, I used to criticize you because you sounded like a fanboy and I wanted to hear more of the truth. And I have to say that you have won me over with the way you reporting things now. Salute. Appreciate you, bro. And I was a fanboy at first. My first 2 years doing this team couldn't do no wrong. Nobody on it could do no wrong. Tannehill was a god, everything. But at the end of the day, at some point, Dolphin fans, you come to a realization that all of this hype and getting excited is all fake. But the sad part is the only reason it's fake is because they lie to us. If we knew the truth and how ungood it really be, we would demand more. we wouldn't be sold out on season tickets right now. And then we would force them to actually do something to make us get sold out. And the problem is we go get Armstead and Tyreek, 2 guys, and we sell out. And like that's the big issue. That was it on this team. That's all we needed. The reality is, if they really, and that's why, man, they ain't fooling me. You don't care for Tua like you say. Because if you did, you'd already have a legitimate starting center. You won't go freaking sign a good guard in free agency and then convert him to center. The heck is that? And then try to say he got experience at center when the man only played in preseason for Dallas at center and he was a train wreck. You ain't fooling me. So I'm going to call it like I see it until you surprise me. Wow, look at us, man. I didn't see this coming. That's what you're going to have to do for me. Because other than that, it's a shame that if I would have just bet on us losing for the last 20 years, I have $1 million. If I was a bet, like, and I've actually placed wagers over the years. But it's always betting on my team, and I learned a valuable lesson. Never bet on the Dolphins. Never put your money on them. Because in the last 20 years, all they did is lost people money. But everybody want to have this, positive mantra. You're supposed to be positive about your team as a fan. But once you start understanding your team and knowing everything you need to know about your team and actually become your own general manager based off of all the information provided for your team, you start to see where the areas of concern are and where we need to be better. But people don't want to be told where we need to be better. See, everybody want to think that we got the best receiving core in the NFL when they rank us 10th. That's the thing about Dolphin fans. We think we have the best of everything if it's good. They think they just Dolphin fans just miraculously think we get snubbed for everything. The reason why you always think we getting snubbed for everything is because you do not pay zero attention to any other team. You just think automatically what we did, we better than everybody. And they pay not a bit of attention to what another team did. Well, we got some of the best receivers. We got the 10th. Was it the 10th? No, it's the 5th best receiving core in the NFL. 4 teams better than us. Maybe 5. I think we were 6 or something. I got to go look at it again. And 3 of them in the AFC. And all 3 of them we got to play. So that ain't an advantage. And all 3 of them got a better quarterback. So that ain't an advantage. All 3 of them already got a better run game. So that ain't an advantage. All of them got a better O-line. That ain't an advantage. Where the heck is the advantage on offense? Yeah, but our defense is better. Oh, it was. It was better than the Chargers until they made their offseason acquisitions. It was never better than Buffalo's. They were number 1 in the NFL last year. We don't pay not one bit of attention to what other teams do. We just think that we it now. We think we're it. Our defense ended 16th in the league. Do we even realize that 7 other teams in the AFC had a better defense than us last year? And our defense is just the same? Our defense is the same. So that means 7 teams already, their defense was better than ours anyway. So And we're saying, yeah, but our defense will carry us. Our defense carried us against every scrub team last year. Outside of the Patriots, what playoff team did we beat last year? Outside of the Patriots, what playoff team did we beat last year? Don't be fooled. We sitting here going to get offensive weapons trying to catch up to these other offenses when they already used to putting up 30 a game and ain't lose nobody. And some of them got better. Ravens didn't make the playoffs, Adam. Chargers already putting up 30. Bengals already putting up 30 in games. Chiefs be putting up 30 in games. Buffalo be putting up 30. You better know the Browns and the freaking Broncos probably going to be putting up 30 pieces sometimes this year. We trying to catch up to that. Some of them already been doing it. And we just automatically say, oh, we got the best roster we ever had. But is that the best roster in the NFL? Have you seen it? Here's what's crazy. They're a trash team to me, but have you seen the Lions roster? Go through the Lions roster top to bottom and see how much better our roster is. Go through the Lions roster. The best roster in the NFL, in my opinion, is the Cleveland Browns anyway. With or without Deshaun Watson. If you go through that roster, you cannot tell me you ain't at least got them top 3 in the NFL. But I personally think the Browns have the best roster in the NFL. And it ain't because of Deshaun Watson. Some of you may not even know that. Go look at the Chargers roster this year. Go look at the Bengals roster. The only issue they had was on that O-line, and they went and got 3 starters. I thought all they needed was 2. They went and got 3. It's some really good rosters in the AFC, but all we want to do is look at ours. All we want to do is look at ours. When the truth is, believe it or not, we don't even have a top 5 unit on our roster, on our team. They didn't have our wide receiving core in the top 5. I think it was number 6. They didn't have our corners in the top 5. They didn't have our safeties in the top 5. They don't even have our defensive line in the top 5, and they actually aren't. We don't have a top 5 unit in the NFL. Truth be told. We could self-proclaim we're a top 5 unit. Our wide receivers. We could self-proclaim that our secondary is the top. And I know we're good at doing that. In fact, show y'all something real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if we have a top 5 unit. If we do, it can only be the wide receivers because Waddle, I know he was in the top 10. So maybe just the wide receiving group. 10-7, missed the playoffs, rinse, wash, repeat. Don't give me that. I'd rather go 9-8. But 10-7 and miss, oh, that's a heartbreaker. That would be a heartbreaker. I'm looking it up now. If we got anything top 5, it's probably only the receiving core. So let me just go straight to wide receiving cores, PFF units. Let me see. Maybe we top 5 in the wide receiving core. Let me see. Okay, it's coming up now. Number 1, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 3 is actually, okay. Number 3 is the Miami Dolphins. I'm seeing it side by side now. They had us number 6. If you count the top 2, we're number 3. If you count the top 3, we're number 6. So however you want to take that. The top 2 receivers, we're number 3 in the NFL. Top 3 receivers on the roster, we're number 6. Oh, we got a donation. Do you think we will have a top 5 group by the end of the season? Got a lot of young players on defense. Hey, we got a top 5 unit in wide receiver if you count 2 receivers. I don't know how y'all prefer to look at it. Do you like to look at it as the top 2 receivers determining your unit or the top 3 receivers? Whatever y'all, however y'all. Either way, at least we got a top unit. Matter of fact, I want to go through this, though. This is what's interesting. Our offense didn't get better than Cincinnati's offense, ladies and gentlemen. They got a better wide receiving core. They got the run game. They got the better quarterback, however you want to slice it. Our offense ain't just miraculously going to be better than theirs. And also, I want to pull up defensive rankings. I want to pull up defensive rankings. Let me go to the top. So where's Cincinnati? Cincinnati is ranked 13th in defense, and the Dolphins are 16th. So they got the better offense and defense. Defense is the same, okay? We got pretty much the same personnel, so do they. But they already had a top offense. Let's go to number 2 with the receiving group. Matter of fact, let me just pull up offensive rankings. NFL. Let me add that as well. NFL offensive rankings. All right. All right, let me see. Where was Cincinnati overall? Cincinnati was 9th overall offensively. And they just got an O-line to help them get better. Let me take this down. Yeah, give me a second. Somebody said rankings are funny. Don't play exact same teams. Yeah, I get that. I also get that as well. But again, this is the thing that's interesting to me. We have the exact same defense. A team like Cincinnati has the same defense and added a little bit. They actually did more to improve theirs than ours, and they were already ranked higher. Offensively, they actually did more in their trenches. And first of all, they were already so far ahead offensively, right? We're like 26th or something like that, and they're freaking 9th. And then they went and fixed their issues to try to be top 5. And y'all think we're going to move from 26 to top 5? Realistically, 26, and on a good season, you'll go to what, 15, 12 at best? But we're just all of a sudden better than them. Let's go to another team in the AFC. Let's look at the Raiders, for instance, who has the number 5 wide receiving core. Let's see, what does the Raiders defense look like? Because I know they weren't the greatest. Well, they got toasted quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, because this is the team that we're going to have to fight to beat into the playoffs, one of those teams. It's one of them teams I'm worried about. See, the Raiders 22nd. So our defense can lead the way against them. But their offense last year, let's see, what was the Raiders' offense? Raiders' offense was number 11. and then you add a receiver, just like we added Tyreek, they go and add a receiver and an O-lineman. So is our defense going to be able to offset the gap, that the advantage they have on offense? These are the things. And matter of fact, what'll be better is, let me tell you how the top offenses and how many are on my AFC. Number 1, Buffalo Bills have the top offense in the NFL. They also have the top defense in the NFL. You realize Buffalo is 1-1, and we got to play them twice. New England has I didn't know this, but New England had the number 2 defense in the NFL last year. Number 2. Let me see. And their offense was 18th. Not far from ours, which was 15th. Well, that's the offense projection this year, is going to be 15th. This is this year's projection, by the way. They have us projected to be the 15th ranked offense, which is a huge improvement. Huge improvement. But you got to look at how many teams are ahead of us at 15 that's in the AFC alone. Minnesota, we got to play them this year. Denver, AFC, number 12. Raiders, AFC, number 11. Green Bay, 10, and we got to play them. Cincinnati, 9, play them and in the AFC. Baltimore, 8, play them and in the AFC. We don't play them. We don't play them. Chargers, 4, play them and in the AFC. We don't play them. Kansas City, 2, in the AFC. Buffalo, played them twice and in the AFC. We're not the only team that already was good last year, and every team worked to get better this year. And we got a tough schedule this year. When you truly look at who all we play this year, it's just tough. Patriots twice. Hopefully we sweep them. That's two wins. And I'm going to go through it real quick. Beat the Patriots week 1. Ravens, I don't know how I don't see us beating them this year. They're not going for that zero blitz stuff, and they're going to be greatly healthy at the beginning of the season. Buffalo, Bengals, that's your gauntlet right there. Baltimore, Buffalo, Bengals. Then finish off with the Jets. Many say that's 2 and 3 right there, many will say. 2 and 3. Vikings. That's the one that's going to be really tough. That's going to be really tough. And it's is that home? And that's at home, I believe. Yeah, it's home. The Vikings game is going to be tough. They got a better offense, solid defense. Then you got the Steelers. I'm really not worried about them, even though a lot of people are. The Lions, they got a really good roster, but I hope that doesn't end up being our Jacksonville game from last year. The Bears, not worried about them. That's where we got to take care of business. Steelers, Lions, Bears. Right there, we need to win all 3 of those games. Steelers, Lions, Bears, we got to win all 3 of those. Because going into that game, let me tell you what we could be. We could be 2 and 5 going into that game. That's just the reality. We could take an L by the Vikings, the Bengals, the Buffalo, and Baltimore. And we beat the Jets in New England. We could go into that game, those games 2 and 5. And then we need to go on a win streak in those 3 games just to get back to 5 and 5. Then you nitpicking. Browns could be a loss, 5 and 6. Texans, a win, 6-6. You're going back and forth. San Francisco, I don't know what to expect. But say you win, you finally above 500, 7-6. But the Chargers, that could be an easy loss. 7-7. Buffalo again, now you 7-8. Green Bay, 7-9 on Christmas Day. New England, 8-9. The Jets. I'm off somewhere, but 9-8 pretty much. I added another loss, but 9-8. That's why my projection is 9-8. That's exactly why my projection is 9-8. And that's sweeping the Jets and the Patriots. Eight losses. Who are those 8 losses? Again, and they very well could be losses. We're not going to sit here and just make it seem like we automatically going to win. Green Bay on Christmas Day. Buffalo twice. Chargers. Browns. Vikings. Bengals. Ravens. That's 8 losses right there. So the reality is, out of those 8 projected losses, we got to find a way to win 2 of them. We have to find a way to win 2 of those. Who is it going to be? What 2 games out of the 8 that I named do you think that we'll win? Now, here's what y'all got to realize. We could win. We could beat those teams any given Sunday. We could beat all 8 of them. I don't know. We could beat 5 of them. We could beat 3 of them. We could beat 6 of them. We don't know. But to get in the playoffs, there are 9 games that we shouldn't lose. And then there are 8 that we could lose. So out of those 8, which 2 do you think that we could beat? We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Let me read those 8 teams again. Baltimore, Buffalo twice, Bengals, Vikings, Chargers, Green Bay. Out of those 8, what 2 do you think we could beat? I'm just asking y'all what y'all think. Vikings and Browns. Y'all really hoping that Deshaun ain't playing, huh? Because if Jimmy G get over there, they going to be a good team anyway. But Browns, okay. Baltimore, I think y'all just keep on saying Baltimore because of what happened last year. Do y'all remember how many points we scored against Baltimore last year? Do y'all remember? Oh, I got to pull this up real quick. There's a reason I'm pulling this up. 22-10. And do you realize we scored 16 in the fourth quarter of our 22? 22. Let me tell y'all, I got to be honest with y'all. Let me tell y'all why that game offensively was actually embarrassing, especially with Jacoby at the beginning. Let me tell y'all why it was embarrassing. Do you see how many times we shut them out, our defense? Do you know how many possessions we were able to get in that game because we were shutting them out? Lamar Jackson threw the ball 43 times and only completed 26. Do we even realize that? We were literally causing them to punt after 3 plays in the first 3 quarters over and over and over and over. And the reality is, we actually, technically, y'all, I want y'all to think about this. We actually matched them just about the entire game. Do you know that going into the fourth quarter, the score was 6-3? And because we took off at the end of the game, we really think we did something impressive against Baltimore last year. It was 7-3 going into the 6-3 going into the fourth quarter. We are in the fourth quarter and the score is 6-3. And we really think we did something impressive? And didn't we have like a fumble touchdown in that game? And they had half of their starters gone due to injury. And we just automatically keep on throwing out, we going to beat Baltimore because of what we did last year. That's what's happening in our brains. Y'all know that, right? That's why it's so easy for people to say Baltimore, Baltimore, because you just remember what this defense did to them. That's not going to be this like guaranteed easy win that everybody thinks. It's not. We shall see. Somebody said Tua came in and won us the game. Tua went 8 for 13, 158 yards, 1 sack, and his QBR was a 31.6. He actually had a lower QBR than Lamar Jackson. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tua threw no touchdowns, threw no interceptions. 8 for 13. And I ain't saying whether that's good or bad. I'm just saying 8 for 13, 158. He got some yards in that game. That's about it. He just got yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Sacked once and had a lower QBR than Lamar Jackson. QBR 31.6. Lamar's was 42.9. And what really helped Tua was the 64-yard catch from Albert Wilson and the 52-yard catch from Isaiah Ford. 2 of those catches was worth 110, 116 alone out of his 158. And one of those catches was wide open. I'll never forget that. I think it might have been, was it Albert Wilson or Isaiah Ford? He was literally wide open. Wide open. And he caught the ball and ran up the sideline, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody say he had a rushing touchdown. Good. He also fumbled once. We didn't lose it. Coleman, that's interesting. Baltimore didn't. We had 1 interception that we had against them. Let me see. Y'all give me a second. Got the play-by-play. And Baltimore missed the field goal in that game. Let's see something. Fumble return for a touchdown. Yeah, there it goes. It was 9-3 in the fourth quarter, and Xavier Howard picked up the fumble and returned it for 49 yards for the touchdown. And that put us up 15-3. And Ravens made it. This is an interesting game. Look at all these punts. Ravens start out 3-0. We punt. Ravens missed the field goal. Just look at all the Ravens drive. They get a field goal. They miss the field goal. Then they punt, punt, punt. In the half, ran out of time. Punt, punt, punt. Fumble, return for a touchdown. Punt. 10 possessions, we shut them down, y'all. Then they finally got a touchdown, 9 plays, 99 yards. They finally got a touchdown, 9 plays, 99 yards. Okay? Then we answered with the touchdown where Tua hit Albert Wilson for 64 yards. That was the play. He was wide open. Tua threw it to him. And we got to the Baltimore 11-yard line. Then Baltimore got a penalty for too many defensive players on the field, so we moved it up even more to the 6. Gaskins 1 yard. Robert Hunt gets us a penalty. And then Gaskins, where we're at the 10, and Gaskins runs it to the 3-yard line. And then Gaskins runs it to the 2 for a first down. So we were first and goal from the 1, and Tua ran it in for a 1-yard touchdown. And then the next drive, Baltimore goes all the way down the field, but then we pick them off. Coleman picked them off, and we ended the game taking a knee. We ended the game taking a knee. Do y'all understand the theatrics at the very end of that game? What happened at the very end of the game? We up 15-3, and Baltimore goes down the field and score a touchdown, and we're up 15-10. But we answer with the touchdown because of the wide open play to Albert Wilson. We won this game because of a wide open play to Albert Wilson for 64 yards. And we got a pick to seal it. And we just automatically think we're going to beat Baltimore this year. Automatically. But TD, would you believe in winning the NFL is easy? Yeah. Should have been a blowout. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. We put up 22 points and we turned them over twice and made them punt literally 10 times in a row. And we just think that we did it in that game. We shut them out and made them punt or turn over 10 possessions in a row, y'all. 10 in a row. You wouldn't believe it if somebody told you. Literally. Missed the field goal. Punt, punt, punt. Ran out of time before halftime. Punt it again. Punt it again. Punt it again. Fumble return touchdown, Xavier Howard. Punt it again. 10 possessions, and they finally scored a touchdown. And let me tell y'all something. If the Baltimore Ravens would have came back and won the game, they would have said it was the defense's fault. Just like the Atlanta Falcons game. They would have blamed the defense. And do you realize between them 10 possessions, we had 6 points until X got the fumble recovery. But our offense had 6 points, 2 field goals through all 10 of them possessions. And if they would have came back and won, it ain't the offense fault that the defense. It's crazy to me. Stop acting like we got these guaranteed victories next year. It's just not true. So I heard what most of y'all say. Y'all say the Browns and the Baltimore are the 2 wins that you feel like we can get. So let's say we do beat the Browns in Baltimore. Right? How do we really feel about this team if we can't beat the Chiefs? I mean, not the Chiefs, but the Bengals, the Chargers, the Buffalo Bills. Let's just go with those 4 games. If we can't beat one of those teams once, if we can't beat the Chargers, the Bengals, or we play Buffalo twice, if we can't get one of those wins, then we'll never be a competitor. I got to be honest. Those are the games that I'm really got my eyes set on, because we have to find a way to win one of those games. One, Buffalo twice, Chargers, Bengals. We have to figure out a way to win at least one of those games, because if we get swept by those 4 games, when are we ever going to be able to compete in the AFC? They're young. They're just as young as us. They're in the same cap type situation because they got all them young players too. They were rebuilding. If we can't beat those 4 games, if we can't win at least one of them, we'll never be able to compete in the AFC. Because I ain't even including the Chiefs. I'm not including those other teams. We have to figure out a way to at least win one of those games against one of those teams. Buffalo, Chargers, Bengals. We have to win one of those games out of 4. Sorry about that, Eugene. I'll go back and I'll look to see what mod blocked you for defending Tua. That way I could take away their mod status, man. As long as you're not being disrespectful, you're allowed to say whatever you want. Only thing we don't tolerate is disrespect and profanity in the chat. So sometimes we have mods that may get in their feelings because they disagree, but they should know. They should definitely know. The only thing we block are disrespectful comments. So I'll go back and I'll check it out to see who it was and take care of it. So we'll see. We smoking the Chargers. The Chargers' only issue was their defense. And they definitely went and invested in that area. Hands down. I just hope Byron Jones is healthy early in the season. Except for me, I be talking ish all the time. TD, I didn't block Eugene. I blocked Dolphin 72 for his disrespect to you. Oh, you're good then. I mean, you ain't gotta worry about telling me. Whoever blocked, I'll be able to see. So if it wasn't you, you ain't gotta worry about it. TD, Josh Allen own us. Well, we need to own him this year, at least one game. Chargers could be one of our upsets, though. Well, let me ask you this. What game are you worried about where the other team will upset us? Don't forget that happens too. We shouldn't have lost to the Colts last year. We shouldn't have lost to no freaking Jacksonville last year. Can't get over there when I just can't get over the Jacksonville one. So what team is most likely to upset us this year? Let me know in the comment section. If any team could upset us, and I know Dolphin fans, none of them, but give me one. What team is most likely to upset us? But make sure it's going to be an upset. I ain't talking about the 8 teams I mentioned, by the way. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Which team? Detroit, Jets. Y'all keep saying Jets and the Lions. Man, I'm going to be, just the thought of it. Just the thought of it would be embarrassing. Steelers, Texans, Jets in New England are due. Interesting. Bears defense. Yeah, but what about that offense? What that offense going to do versus us? That's what I want to know. Steelers, Bears, TD. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You can get mad at me all you want, man. I'll be nervous about that Jets game, man. I'm really gonna be nervous this year because let me tell you, it ain't the fact that they've gotten better. It's the fact that if they beat us, it's embarrassing. If they actually sneak a win in, even if it's just that trap game, right? It's embarrassing. Throw this whole team away. It's embarrassing. There's no way we could lose to them. And if they do, that's embarrassing. I know all y'all in the comment section, Jets not beating us. That's the point. Now watch this. This is what's funny about it. Everybody who's saying Jets not beating us. Last year when we were going over predictions and talking about games, who did everybody say ain't beating us? The Jacksonville Jaguars. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. Did we all? Everybody said, hey, Jags ain't beating us. That's a guaranteed. Boy, I promise, boy, they be making me mad. The team be making me mad, man. Chances on beating the Vikings. That's a weird game to me. The Vikings game is interesting. They got a good offense. They take shots. A defense solid. The scary games to me aren't the Bengals and all of that because they just great teams. If we lose, I wouldn't be surprised. If we win, I'm excited, right? Those whatever happens, happens. Because I don't expect to win them anyway. So if we do, that's a plus. And so hopefully we win. But the games that will really have us on edge, it's like 4 of them. Let me give them to you. Green Bay, Vikings, Browns. There's one more. Hold on. Let me go through it. Green Bay, Vikings, Browns, San Francisco. Those are the 4 because it could go either way. I know we're going to say we're going to win them, but those games can go either way. Those 4 teams aren't pushovers. It's going to be a tough game. You got to play your best football to win. You could win if you play your best football, but you got to play your best football. Somebody keeps saying Raiders. We don't play the Raiders this year. Those are the 4 that I feel like we could win, but it's going to be nerve-wracking because we could also lose. It's not a guarantee. We play Watson 10 games in, not 8. And that depends if he gets suspended for the whole year or not. We'll see how it goes. Packers on Christmas. It is going to be nice. But you don't know what you're going to get on that day. At least it's in Miami. I think we beat the Packers, TD. Yeah. All right. Okay. NFL appealed and Watson is going for at least 12 and a full fine or whatever. Listen, what I will tell you about that situation, I don't know if Watson's team went back and appealed, because if they went back and appealed, then he'll play week 1. Because that's the thing. If his team would have appealed the ruling, he could play week 1 until it's resolved. He can play until it's resolved. If they sue and he appeals, they can play. He can play right away until the whole process is out. But if the NFL only do it, then he can't play. So we'll see. We'll see. But if they do go get Jimmy G, that team is still just as deadly. Y'all don't understand how good that roster is from top to bottom. You show me the weakness on their roster. Top to bottom. You tell me what weakness that roster has. So we'll see. The only thing that gives me faith versus the Bengals is the cornerback one, Eli Apple, will probably be on Tyreek. Man, y'all, come on now. Yeah, Eli Apple gonna be on Tyreek, and they're gonna have a deep safety. There's gonna be a lot of safety help, y'all. Whew. TD, Dalvin Cook coming home. Run game got to be on point. Yeah. Need to go undefeated at home. That's a stretch. Everybody who donated to the channel, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. We had about 500 people in here tonight. But how many likes do we have? How many likes on the video do we have? Did everybody hit the like button? If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We try to go subscriber only chat primarily now. Just FYI, we got 200 and almost 50 likes. So punch that like button if you haven't yet. Again, those who have donated to the channel, thank you for your love and support and helping us continue to do what we do, bigger and better. Shout out to the homie Chef Jew in the building. I see you, man. Glad to see you in here. Let me see here. Timeline. TD, if these cornerbacks are getting beat against this better than average receiving core, couldn't that be a good thing? This could indicate these cornerbacks are better than average. What say you? Well, that logic don't add up for me, Donald. You said since they're getting beat by good receivers, they're supposed to. But they also getting beat by second and third stringers too. So Coleman and Noah, they getting beat by everybody. So that don't mean the corner's better if they getting beat. Now, if they were standing up, making plays and shutting them down all day, then we say it's a good sign because we know our receivers are good. But they're getting beat. So it's going to be real easy, interesting in this regular season how other teams' pass games work against us. And that's why it makes you nervous, because pass game wise, Buffalo, whose receiving core is better than it was last year. The Bengals, great receiving core. Minnesota, great receiving core. Browns, great receiving core. Chargers, great receiving core. San Francisco, just great weapons. Aaron Rodgers, their receiving core ain't great without Adams, but they always find ways to find guys, and they got a slinger. So, no. We'll see this year. But the good thing is we play the Bucs this week. Even in preseason, the number 2 wide receiving core in the NFL. So let's go, DBs. Let's see how much we get toasted. Not to mention our O-line is struggling in camp, and we do not have the best defensive line. We don't. As a matter of fact, I need to pull this up. 2022 defensive line ranking based off of PFF. Let me show y'all something. Rams number 1, Washington 2, Green Bay, number 3. You see what I mean on Christmas Day? We got to go up against the third-ranked pass rush unit with our O-line. Pittsburgh, number 4. That makes that game rougher. The one that we automatically think will win. Tampa Bay's number 5. So let's see what they do against this line. Vita Vea, unblockable. Akeem Hicks. Come on, man. San Francisco, number 6, and we got to deal with them. Number 7, the Chargers. They got the better D-line. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. The Saints, number 8. Philadelphia, number 9. Titans, number 10. The Colts, number 11. Vikings, we got to play the Vikings, and they 12. Now we getting into tier 3. Buffalo's 13. They just got a really good secondary, though. That's why. Cincinnati's 14. The Dolphins are 15. And they comment on the ours. The Dolphins have a blitz-heavy approach, made talented by a secondary of Howard, Byron Jones, and Javon Holland. I told y'all, this is even PFF's evaluation. We don't get no organic pass rush. Our D-line ain't as great as people think. We don't get an organic pass rush. Our secondary allows us to generate pressure via the scheme rather than the individual pass talent. I never read this, y'all. Y'all already heard my evaluation. Now look at PFF's exact words, exactly what I've been telling y'all all this time. The Dolphins' blitz-heavy approach, made possible by talent in the secondary, such as Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, and Javon Holland, allows them to generate pressure via the scheme rather than individual pass rushing talent. Miami does have an interesting group to send at the quarterbacks off the edge with Emmanuel Ogbah, Melvin Ingram, Jalen Phillips, and Andrew Van Ginkel, but its strengths lies in the interior duo of Christian Wilkins and Zach Zeiler, both of whom performed at a high level in 2021, earning PFF grades above 80 last season. Exactly what I've been telling y'all. We don't have a great D-line that gets organic pass rush. Our pass rush is simply because of our scheme. We put everybody at the line and make offensive lines like, I don't know who's coming. Oh, everybody's coming. And whoever don't grab a guy, that guy goes free. I've been telling y'all this same thing. People get mad at me. Oh, you hating on our D-line. Our D-line is not as great as you think. It's just the scheme we run that allows it to have an advantage. And this is why our secondary has to be great. This is why Byron Jones is so important. Because if those guys ain't locking down on an island by themselves, we'd be getting torched for blitz, giving them looks. But look at all these D-lines we're going to have to go up against. And the Jets are right behind us at number 16. See, the difference between our D-line is the fact that we get our pressure because of the scheme. All these teams above us, they got 2 dogs coming off the edge with solid play in the middle. They don't need to scheme it up. They could send 4 and make you pay. We send 4, we ain't never getting there. When we send 4, we rarely get there. Unless it's a stunt and it looks like 7 coming. But this is a real evaluation. This is why you got to look at the rest of these teams. The Miami Dolphins are poised to be somewhere between the 14th and the 20th best team in the NFL this year. That's just my realistic take. We are poised to be between 14 to 20 this year. When you look at the holistic approach of this team, that's what we're poised to be. We're poised to move from the 26th ranked team to 14 to 20. People think that we made enough moves to jump up 10 spots. Do you realize the only changes we made to this team is a Teron Armstead who barely played 10 games, Tyreek Hill, a huge addition, Connor Williams, who's out of position, and Melvin Ingram. Great additions. But do we think that those additions is supposed to move us up more than 10 spots? Now you go get a center. We can get in that 11, 12 range, in my opinion. Maybe even 10 with great coaching. Nah, Carla, running backs, all we got is speed. These guys ain't. That's another thing. I hate this notion with the running backs. Yeah, they fast. They fast. They are fast. But for some reason, we make it seem like we brought in 3 Jonathan Taylors or a Derrick Henry. Yeah, they fast. Does their speed make them better than Jonathan Taylor? We got a whole bunch of Tony Pollards. That's how I look at it. And I like Tony Pollard. They got speed. And what does it matter if the O-line ain't creating holes for them? Because these the same fast guys in practice running in the walls. 80% of the time they get a handoff. 80% of the time they get the ball handed off. They out there looking like Drake and Balaj. So they can be as fast as they want to be. But they looking like Kenyon Drake and Kalen Balaj in practice. Not because they not good backs, because the O-line ain't giving them no lanes. I like their talent. I think they're good running backs. They ain't great. They good, and their biggest strength is their speed. But you got to get them out in the open field first. If you can't get them out in the open field, what good is the speed? Every report that come out, everything is all beautiful and roses. It's just not true. It's just not true. They all just learning, making the sausage look ugly. Making the sausage looks ugly, TD. It's still a sausage. Going through the grinder. They trying to hand make these. I don't know what they doing. People literally can't handle the truth. Hey, yeah, but ignore those people. They here listening. We need thunder, not just lightning. Exactly. Tua gonna be your RB1 if Armstead goes down. Don't even mention that. I hope Armstead can give us a full season. It's just, I mean, it's like so unlikely though, right? That's how I feel. It's like so unlikely. I gotta go look at this again real quick. Let me pull it up. Give me a second. I want to see the games each season starts. Last year, he started 8 games. The year before, 14. The year before that, 15. Then the year before that, 10. The year before that, 10. The year before that, 7. The year before that, 13. The year before that, 14. The year before that, 2. He's never played a full season. Teron Armstead has never in his career played an entire season. Never. 9 years in the NFL, has never played in a full season. Let me get my calculator. I got to do the math real quick. How many games a season he averaging? Y'all give me a second. Let me add it all up. Plus equals divided by 9. He averages 10.3 games per season. In 9 years, he averages 10.3 games per season. I want to hold on, times 9. I want to take his rookie season out though. I want to take his rookie season out. Usually guys don't play much, right? So let's divide it by 8. This is a more realistic for him because his second year he played 14 games. So he's going to give us 11.4 games. That's the average for Teron Armstead in his career, 11.4, not including his rookie season of 2 games, which was nothing. 11.4 games out of 17 games. So there's a chance he could miss 6 games. How many playoff games did he miss, though? Good question. Let's see. Let's see if we can pull that up. Game log, postseason. All right, postseason. All right, postseason is here. Well, it's hard to tell because I don't know how far they went. I don't know how far they went in these years, so it's hard to tell. Hold on, let me see something. I know that he has 9 playoff games. Let me do this. 2013 to 2020. Let me just pull up New Orleans Saints playoff records. Give me a second. All right, we'll find out. All right, New Orleans Saints playoff history. All right, so we're Teron Armstead 13 to 20. So what 13 to 21 actually. Let's see. 2013. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He ain't missed the playoff game. So he's been available for them in the playoffs. Honestly, it looks like the seasons that he's hurt the least are the seasons they go to the playoffs. The seasons that he's hurt the least are the seasons that they actually make the postseason. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, he's made every playoff game. So it's a matter of if he can stay healthy, we got a better chance of making the playoffs. If he gets hurt, he could hurt us from making the playoffs. That's how it was with the Saints. That's how it was with the Saints. Let me see if there's a correlation here. 2019, 16, 15, 14. 19, 16, 15, 14. All right, 19, 16, 15, 14. Give me a second, y'all. 2019. All right, 16. Yep, they missed the playoffs in 2016. He played 7 games. Then he missed it 15. He played 10. The other one he played 10. And 13, he only played 2 games. Direct correlation. When he gets hurt, the Saints don't make the playoffs. His least game played, they didn't make the playoffs. 2021, got hurt, didn't make the playoffs. He played eight games in 2021, didn't make the playoffs. Same thing in 18, 17, 16. 15, they did make the playoffs, though. I think it was a 1-round exit, but he played 13 games. So if he could stay healthy and give us 15 games, that's a good shot for us. If not, it is what it is. That's something you can't fix overnight. They say he's doing it in practice, but that's practice. Oh, I don't know what y'all saying he's doing. See here. He will play if we make the playoffs. Well, that's a good thing. TD, any games he sat week 17, 18 when the Saints had his spot locked up to preserving him for the playoffs. That might have been those like 16 and 15 win seasons. There's only 3 of those in his 9 years. All the other ones, I don't need to look at the season he played 10 games, and the other season he played 10 games, and the other season he played 7 games, and the season he played 8 games. I don't got to look at those to see if he rested at the end, because even if he rested for a game or 2, he still missed another 5-6 games on top of it. So let's just assume, so I ain't got to go through the detail looking. Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 of those seasons he did sit out the last few games. So we'll see. Anyway, man, I'm 2 hours in. I'm finna get me some sleep for the night. We need to see. I'm finna get me some sleep. I thank y'all for tuning in to TD PHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow back at it. Again, we got a collab tomorrow night with the Buccaneers YouTuber. So he can give us the scoop on what we're going to be looking for in those joint practices. Love y'all so much. I will see y'all soon. It's TD PHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Peace. I'm out. Yeah. It's TD PHINSTALK. We done came so far. Gotta keep going. Hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out DDW. He's great and that's my peer review. These haters keep on hating and it's starting to feel like deja vu. Insanity and Chef Jew. I can't forget my day one crew. EM Reason ball game. The recognition's overdue. I share with you my point of view and this is what it's got us to success. My haters say I'm a mess. They say that I'm a pest and I depress. And I'm obsessed with causing stress, but yet the stress they can't suppress. Nonetheless, I just impress because I'm blessed and they oppress. I know the answers, they just guess. When they play checkers, I play chess. When they regress, I make progress. And my attention, they get less. They feel neglected, CPS. If they don't pay, I repossess. Now I digress and decompress and take recess and clear my chest. I must confess, I am the best. Like, hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out DDW. He's great and that's my peer review. These haters keep on hating and it's starting to feel like deja vu. Insanity and Chef Jew. I can't forget my day one crew. EM Reason ball game. The recognition's overdue. I share with you my point of view and this is what it's got us to success. On the road to the Super Bowl, no matter the cost, man, we willing to pay the toll. 50 plus years and they all ended in tears. Now it's time to pop bottles, celebrate, scream cheers. Hey, this is 2022. TD on the mic repping my team. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Over 20,000 subs. Look at how much we done grew. Shout out to my day one crew. We only here because of you.